What is good, everybody? Welcome to the early show. I'm gonna adjust my camera here. I don't know why it's all off. Actually, I do know why it's all offset because I took it off when I moved laptops over the weekend. Well, holiday weekend, and I did not readjust it and really tweak it. But welcome all. Hey, Simple Dan, Just 10B. Hello, Tommy P. Good evening. Um, yeah, what's up, everybody? No, we got a couple more people joining us. I know Duke says he's probably going to hop on in about 30 minutes or so. I'm going to say we're going to run it for an hour tonight, but who the hell knows? What's up, Roland Trip? Um, I had a couple topics to bring to this. I guess the scenario stuff will wait till Duke gets here because I know Duke really loves the scenario stuff. So we'll talk about that then. Uh, Randy Butternubs, hello, sir. Um, yeah, so hope everyone had a wonderful Thanksgiving. You know, got to spend it with friends, family, all that good stuff. Mine was pretty low key myself. Sorry, I'm drinking so much water. I end up cutting the inside of my mouth, and so it's been irritated for like the past, I don't know, just shy of a week. So healing up, but um, Glass 3222, hello, evening. Yeah, figured tonight's chat before we get into scenario stuff. We could go over Black Friday stuff. If anyone scored any good deals on Black Friday, it doesn't matter what it was, but share your Black Friday deals that you got. What's up, Dino? And then I know that one of the conversations that come up in some previous chats. I'm blanking and I forget who, but someone had been asking stuff about getting back on the fitness stuff. So I'll bring that up a little bit, just temporarily for people and to answer that question. But would like Tommy P says would like to hear your plans to make it home with your regular GHB if you're 400 miles out. I'm a truck driver. This is where I'm coming from. So regular get home bag if you're 400 miles out. What's up, Dwayne? So my get home bag is theoretically I could probably stretch it if I really needed to 5 days. It's really like 3 to 4 day kit. Um, and so in 400 miles out depends, terrain, how much you're moving, weather, stuff like that. So a lot of it's going to play into how much ground you can cover. Me, I walk a lot in the areas, I'm walking. I could probably cover, I'd say easily 50 miles a day. Like just get up early and walk it. I'm gonna be sore. I'm gonna be tired, but I could do it. Like it's a long time, but like I have in my get home bag, I have Dr. Scholl's type things. They're not Dr. Scholl's, but they're like that for like inside your shoes. So like comfort level. I have stuff in there. I have a sleeping bag that actually it's a small little like bag that straps right onto it. I have a small little tent system that also ratchets right on top of the bag, so it's my bag, but then I have other stuff attached to it. I have water collection stuff in there. I have tons of fire starting stuff. I have enough food to last me for several days. Water is really the big one, so I have some water in there, and obviously ways to collect and clean water. Um, what's up, Pavaya07? I hope I'm saying that right. Um, so my get home bag. I could do 400 miles. It would suck. And don't get me wrong, it's gonna suck. I'm probably gonna have to collect some additional water and stuff along the way. But I have water collection things in there, so I could do it. I could do it. It would take a while. Obviously, covering 400 miles, like you're gonna be taking a long time to get there, especially if it's shitty weather and everything like that. So,
Yeah, did you got your
uh,
stuff ready for winter in your bug out bag?
yes and no. So, like my bug out bag, I have warm weather. Like if I'm leaving the house anyway, and I'm talking about like someplace I'd actually have to like bring additional shit with me. Like if I'm going up to my parents, like I have winter stuff with me. Plenty of clothes, stuff like that. I can layer the fuck up if I need to.
It's a good
And then
idea to
I have
team
like a good
together.
Yeah, like
Go
I have a
ahead.
good like heavy duty like wool blanket that also attaches to the bag. Like I should actually do a breakdown of my bug out bag sometime. Maybe I'll do an updated video. I know I have one someplace on my channel, but it's probably back like 5 years ago, maybe 6. So it's been a
Well,
while.
well, just like the
Um,
change of the season, my bug out bag changes.
yeah. I mean, mine doesn't from the standpoint of like I
But
still got
whether
tons of fire starter stuff in there. I
yeah,
still
that
got
stuff
water
don't.
collection
Yeah,
stuff.
that
Yeah.
stuff never changed. But like I added wool, extra wool socks and things like that.
That's a smart idea.
Long
Yeah, I figure
underwear, things like that.
if I'm traveling a far enough distance, I'm traveling because I'm staying someplace. So I'm gonna have again like another bag with extra clothes. I can just take what I need out of there and throw into that bug out bag, or attach that bag with me. All depends how I want to roll. But Dwayne Christensen says picked up a Shield Plus for $3.99 beans. Also got a Benchmade that had an instant $50 gift card at Shields. I don't know what Shields is, but not a bad deal.
They're not sound bad either.
Tommy P says, are already carrying enough calories for 50 miles a day, or are you fishing and hunting on the way? So I already have enough calories for 50 miles a day. Now, obviously, you're not going to be comfortable during those 400 miles. Like you're not going to be well fed,
You won't be
but
sleeping well too.
well,
You won't be sleeping as well.
I
Sleeping
mean, you're.
without much things that kind of suck.
I mean, again, it depends on like if you're cutting over hills and stuff like that and through valley, like that's going to be a lot more than just straight, like for the most part, dead shot, right? Um, but with the caloric intake that I have in that bag, like, because I have a lot of stuff, like I have like high density candy bars, and I got a lot of higher density stuff in there.
Like mountain house
So
thing,
like
MREs, things like that.
not even Mountain House, like I got like peanut butter stuff and like I got high calorie things. So plus I mean, I try to stay in relative shape, but I have a lot of also stuff I can burn on my body. Again, you're not going to be comfortable. It's not like you're going to be well fed the entire time, but you're going to survive. Um, at least what I have in my bag. Again, my bag I could probably stretch to like 5, maybe even 6 days if I really needed to with the food that's in there. After 6 days, I'm gonna be real fucking miserable. But you can last a while without food. So, and I have stuff in there too. Like I have a small little fishing kit in there. If I needed to hunt, like I'm not bringing a 22 with me or anything, but I can bag something if I need to, and I got stuff in there to cook, so I can process game if I needed to. Smaller game. I'm not going to be taking a deer or nothing.
I got I got snails and things like that.
Yeah, you'll be well fed, but won't shit right for a week. Exactly. Um, so that's my bag there. This is what I picked up for Black. Well, I guess before I go, does anyone else have any Black Friday stuff they want to share? Going once, going twice? No? Okay. So my Black Friday, I picked up a Gen 5 Glock 17. Um, Originally, I picked up from my local gun shop. They had a couple sales on a couple different things, and this was in their used case. I mean, the thing's brand new. Like someone clearly bought it, never shot it, or shot it very little, and then brought it back. Oh man! And so they had in the case for 360. Now I've shopped at that shop a lot, and so a lot of the staff there, including the owner, knows me pretty well. Um, Maybe not first name basis, but like knows me to see me, right? And to the point where like I walked in on Black Friday, he saw me. He's like, "Hey man, what's up? Like, you getting anything today? Or let me know if you need anything. Come grab me personally." Like that type of situation. So I saw it. I asked him if he would do 350, just because I was like, it's just easy for me to keep track of stuff, like $50 increments, nice and easy, right? So he's like, "Yeah, no problem. Like you're in here all the time." So they start running my paperwork. Now this was supposed to come with the mag that was in it, obviously, and 2 extra mags plus a box. So as they're processing my paperwork, they get through it and they're like, they're looking around. They're like, I can't find the box, can't find the box. I'm like, dude, I got time, like whatever. After like 45 minutes, like my paperwork's been processed. They're like, we can't find this box. I'm like, honestly, I don't give a shit about the box. Like all I care about is the extra mags. But they didn't have any Glock branded G17 mags there. Now I don't care. Like, I mean, I'll take Magpul mags or whatever. I've run Magpul mags and Glocks before. They're perfectly fine. But they only had Glock 19 Glock branded mags. So he's like, I don't even got Glock 17 Glock brand mags. He's like, and before he could even say like, well, just throw me something else. He's like, if I knock an extra 100 off, will you take it? I'm like, sure thing. So I walked out with that for 250 cans of soup, and literally the next day went to another shop and bought 2 Glock bags for like $12 a piece.
They're not bad.
Dino says, only thing I got for Black Friday was 25 Glock 17 Gen 5 mags for 19 each, same price. They've been all year, just been holding off getting them right now, trying to find a dual fuel generator before deals, and good luck. Oh man. I'm trying to think who has, like, I know Amazon had for a while dual fuel generators, but I haven't looked at them for a long time. Yeah, Paviro 7. Yeah, it was a hell of a deal that I couldn't pass up on. Like, when I saw that, I was like, I mean, at the 350, I was like, that's a hell of a deal because I could sell this now and make $100 if I want to, and then we knocked $100 off. It's like, sure thing. So, it is my first 17. So I've had a 27, I've had a 19, I had a 22 in my possession for a while, but it's my first 17. And honestly, I wasn't even gonna buy it because like I prefer the 19 over the 17 to be fair. But when I saw the price, I was like, well, I can find a use for that, and for the price, like if I need to sell it, it's gonna make me just money down the line. So, but yeah. How about yourself, Bjorn? You find any Black Friday deals on anything at all, or?
No. Just didn't have no money, so I couldn't afford anything.
Yeah, I shouldn't say I was depressed, but it was just, there wasn't a ton that I was seeing out and about. And I went to a couple local shops, not on Friday, but on that Saturday, just because I had time to kill. And there wasn't much for deals. Like, there's a couple ammo deals here and there, but nothing amazing. The local gun shop where I got this, they had some deals on some stuff, but it was nothing that I wanted. Like, they had the GX4 Tauruses, but it was like with a mail-in rebate and everything. Then you got your what have you. They had some AR, and I forget the brand, but it came with like 2 extra mags and a SIG red dot for like, I want to say it was $600. I want to say it was 600. I was like, oh, that's not a bad deal. Like for someone that doesn't want to put together and build their own AR, that just kind of like want to buy something off the shelf, it's a good deal. I mean, I don't know anything again about that AR brand. I'm blanking on the name of it, but usually they said like it was around $1,000 or something. So I'm like, oh well, it's a good deal. Northern Tool usually has good deals on dual fuel generators. Also, if you apply for their credit card, you get 10% off. Just pay it off. That's not bad. I don't need another credit card right now. I'm trying to pay off the ones I got, and my credit's actually doing pretty good, so I don't want another credit hit on me. Oh, nice. New security cameras in 556. Nice. Yeah, once I actually get myself my own, either like a house or someplace that doesn't like, I'm lucky now because the apartment complex I'm in has its own security systems inside, so there's literally a camera right outside my door. But once I get my own place, I want to set up my own security system. I had an own security system on my old place, not in Arizona, when I lived in Pennsylvania before. But yeah, guns and mags are a little hard to find right now in Oregon. I can imagine. Dino says, what gen do you live in a free state? I got a bunch of extra G3 417 mags I can send you some if you want. I'm swapping everything. I have a Gen 5 because that's all I got now. So this is a Gen 5. And I live in PA. So Dina says no more credit cards, just paid off. That was a 21K racked up on it. Yeah, mine. I paid off a big chunk of it, and then I got a little crazy over the summer, um, which was my own fault. I kind of buried myself on that for a little bit, and it's not all the way racked up, but it's racked up more than I want it to be. So like that's the new focus going into the new year is getting that paid off completely. And the other one I'm still paying off from the move. That was an expensive move, so that one I'm still paying off. So that's my goal for 2023 is get both those pieces of shit paid off. This was the first time probably 15, 20 years that I didn't buy anything on Black Friday or Cyber Monday. Yeah, I usually don't, to be honest. Like, at least like firearm stuff. Like, usually I'll buy something stupid. Like back when my ex and I were together, I know we bought like pots or something one year. Like pots and pans, like something stupid that it was her thing she wanted because you saved like $20 off or whatever. And I'm just like, I don't fucking care. Like, fine, I'll go to Black Friday. And it was right after. So it would have been it was Black Friday 2016. So it was right after Trump won the first time. And so Pennsylvania being the mix of people that is, I just went there to go piss people off because I'm like, you dragged me out at 3 a.m. to go to Target and Walmart to buy shit I don't want. And like, you're literally crammed in lines. Like, there's lines that don't make sense where they're going. So she's buying her shit, like buying like a toy for her niece or something. That's something that her niece played for like an hour with and then didn't care. So that was a great waste of my time. Like a bunch of stupid stuff. But we're walking by this end cap and there's these little like dowel rod like American flags that you'd put, I don't know, I guess they would be like lawn decorations. I don't know. They're like this tall, like just a dowel rod with American flag. I think they were like 83 cents. Not on sale or anything, just on an end cap. I'm like grabbing these two things. Because I'm like, if I'm standing in line, I'm gonna make it take longer. I'm just gonna buy stupid shit. And so that's what I did on that That was the last Black Friday I went out. Following Black Friday, I was in Arizona. I didn't go out until like 1 in the afternoon. I walked down to Walmart and it was picked clean. I mean, nothing on the shelves, picked clean. So I went to the section that no one touches. I bought because I just moved to Arizona. I was like, I need a coffee maker. I needed this. I needed that. And so I just bought a bunch of little shit that I needed anyways from just moving that like no one wants because like who's gonna buy a coffee like a plain Jane coffee maker on Black Friday? No one. They want their Gucci Keurigs or whatever. Like I just need a basic coffee maker and like some towels. Like I bought extra towels and like stuff like that. So that's what I did on that Black Friday. And then I don't think I did anything 2019. Obviously 2020, 2021 didn't do anything. So but that's that. I'm seeing where the hell no, it's still at like 12 minutes before Duke shows up. Picks and Matt's Discord knife porn and gun porn. Dwayne Christensen says, okay, let me pull up. I want to see. Well, would share my screen, but I got a bunch of work stuff up, so I can't really do that. Because they get angry. Let's see. Holy fuck, it's been a while since I've been in gun porn. I gotta scroll down a bunch. Black Friday Madness.
I work on buying a gun off my cousin, which is a really nice gun. You can see it.
You what?
I got a very unique gun I'm buying from my cousin.
Oh yeah, what are you getting?
Well, if you see any gun porn, it's there.
I don't know where it is in gun porn. I'm literally scrolling around. I know this is so entertaining for the people in the chat because I'm not sharing it here.
But a gun that I won't ever fire, but it cut a piece more than anything.
Trying to remember what. What day was? Oh, maybe it's under gun discussions. Well, let me go to knife porn. Let me go there. I know, so entertaining for everyone. Um, Knife porn. There we go. Scroll down, 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 down. Twin Christensen. What is your name on? Is it the same thing on Matt's thing, or are you Triple D Whaler? Because if that's the case, I'm seeing you post guns and knives, and that would make sense. In which case, very nice, sir.
It would be in the 11th, November 11th in gun porn.
For you, November 11th? Okay.
Yeah.
All right. Let me scroll up. Fuck. I feel like the 11th was so long ago, and it really wasn't. But
It feels so fast. You're almost ready for December already.
that's the thing. Like this month flew by, like just flew by. Ooh, is that a Beretta? It's like some ceremonial Beretta.
Yeah. If you read, I have a big long explaining everything.
That's cool.
I mean, I know I won't be able to fire it, but it's awesome. Anyway.
Well, why can't you fire it?
Well, it was a presentation piece, you know.
Yeah, but it still functions.
Yeah, it still functions. Maybe I will fire it. We will see, you know.
I mean, not like you're not gonna like carry it around and like fire it out at every range day, but like, okay, Triple D. Okay, you are a Triple D Whaler then. Well, thank you for stopping by, Pavaya. Yeah, that's a hard. Pavaya. There we go. Tongue twister. Okay, so you're a Triple D Whaler. Okay, yes, very nice things that you got then. But I mean, you can still fire. Like again, now and then. It's not like a go out every range day and fire it type thing. But well, good stuff there. I guess because I know Dukes should be showing up here. And first time I bought a couple that shoots. Black Friday was good to me. First time I bought in a while. Well, what did you get? See, that's the thing too. Like I feel like the last 2 years there really wasn't anything for Black Friday. Now again, like I didn't hit up my local gun shop. Back when I was in Arizona on Black Friday. I didn't even hit up any like the small local sporting goods shops. I just felt like there really wasn't anything to buy those years.
See, my problem, if I do find something good to buy, I usually don't have the money about this time of the month.
Well,
Bills,
to be fair, so I went out Friday, Black Friday. The only reason I even went to my local shop was because one of my friends, her car was having some issues, and she's like, "Oh, I got to wake up Friday. I got to bring it down to the shop," because she just got the car like 2 weeks ago. It had a check engine light on it. I scanned it. It came up a code for emissions. Wasn't letting me clear it, so I was like, "Listen, bring it down to them. It's under warranty. If it's something serious, like they're gonna obviously pay for it and fix it because it's under warranty." But because I didn't know how long that was gonna take, if they're gonna keep her there too long, I was like, "Listen, if you're just dropping off the car, I can be up there. I can just come pick you up. We'll do whatever, hang out, whatever. And then when they're ready, come drop you off. You can pick up your car, whatever." So that's the only reason I was up there for that. And I was like, well, the local gun shop's up there anyway. I might as well stop in there, see what they have. I wasn't expecting them to have anything. My idea was like, oh, I'll probably buy some, some crap off PSA or something like that, whatever. So a couple of that sheet says PS5, LG C2 55 gaming TV, and Astra A50 headset. Very nice. I am happy to see that don't hate me, I'm an Xbox person, but like finally those, oh, howdy Corey, I will add you to the stream, sir. Finally I'm starting to see them drop. Like I was at my my local BJ's and they had Xbox, whatever they're Series X or whatever now. And And it's probably like the entry level one, but it was like $400. And I'm like, oh, that's not bad considering like a year ago the entry levels were like $650, $700 people were selling for because you couldn't get them and shit. So, so Randy Butternubs, when I was in Arizona, my most frequent shop that I went to was AJI, out in Apache. It's like right on the Apache Junction Mesa border. It's in the middle of nowhere, but I used to like that shop a lot because it is one of the few like just really like local yokel shops, and they get a lot of weird and cool stuff in, like a lot of old guns and stuff. And I mean, that used to be the place you could go in and buy like, you know, an old pump action Sears shotgun for 120, cans of soup, and then you could buy like some cool like Astra 32 caliber, like they just had a lot of cool stuff in there. And it's always been really good prices. I bought a lot of guns from them. A lot of used stuff, a lot of just cool random stuff. So
How's it going, gentlemen?
How's it going, sir? What's new with you?
I've been busy today on multiple fronts.
Well, busy can be good. Oh, you got it in.
Yep.
Very nice.
Not to mention, also did something else today too. That's why I said I've been busy.
Oh.
I ended up trading my Smith & Wesson M&P9 full size for a Taurus 85.
Oh, nice. Okay. Yep.
So I don't have it yet. I'll have to pick that up in the morning.
Is it the hammer? Well, obviously it's hammered, but is it like a?
It's just a blued version with wood grips.
Okay. Very nice.
It looks very nice.
Very nice.
I'll pick that up in the morning.
So it's funny, when I was at my local this past Friday, before I spotted the Glock, they have their revolver cases on the other side of, I guess, their floor. And they had a Taurus 85 in there. It was blued with wood grips, and it had like a gold hammer and like a gold trigger. I think they wanted like $285. And I debated it for half a second. And before I was like, ooh, I want that, because I'm just like, ooh, shiny, and it's cool. And I like Taurus revolvers. And I'm like, before I was like, I want to see that. I was like, I already have a Taurus 85. Why am I buying a second one? Like, that's stupid.
Well, see, technically, this would be my first quote-unquote real revolver. I mean, I had a Heritage Rough Rider years ago, but I sold it.
Okay.
So I don't know if you really count that as a real revolver.
They are cool. Is it a snub nose? Is it 3-inch barrel? Like what?
I think it was a snubby.
Okay.
If I remember correctly. I'm sorry. I've been shitting and getting all damn day. I've been putting up Christmas lights, and I stopped because I had to go to town to get some dog's medicine from the vet. Went and picked up this thing, and then I got a phone call from another pawn shop that said, "Hey, we got a 38 in. Actually, 2 of them." I was like, "I'll be there in an hour." I went and picked up the 22 first, and then hauled ass to the other place so someone else didn't snipe me or foose me.
Nice. They are awesome little guns. If it's the snubby, the other cool thing about it is you will get nice little fireballs out of it, which is just fun. So I love mine. Mine's a snubby. It has the bobbed hammer, but it's just a blast. It's an awesome gun.
Mm-hmm.
So congratulations, sir. Your first real revolver.
Thank you.
And they carry really well too. Like I carry mine sometimes. So
yeah, I'll have to get a holster. That'll be the next step. Next week I'll get it.
Yeah, I mean, you can get a nice leather holster and stuff for mine. I got just some like Kydex holster off of Amazon that fits awesome. But I also carry inside the waistband, so that's most of the time. So that's why. Couple that shoot. Oh, go ahead.
I was just gonna say, man, this thing is so fucking small for my big ass.
That's how most 22s are. Like when I would go to my old gun shop, because they would just have like the back was where they had most of their used guns. So you'd go in, there's just racks of like old rifles and old shotguns, and then they had a whole rack. Now this is pre-COVID, because after COVID, obviously a lot of stuff was picked through, but they used to have just a whole rack of just little old 22s, and like you pick up some, and you're like, this. That's where I got my Marlin Model 60 actually, because it was dirt cheap. I was like, oh, that was the first gun I ever had. Like I want another one because I didn't have a 22 rifle at the time. But like you pick up some of them, and you're like, this is an air rifle, right? And you're like, nope, this is a legit 22. Like I feel like I could snap this thing in half, just like. But congratulations, though. You'll have a lot of fun with that.
Thank you. I appreciate it.
So.
Yeah, I can't wait to go pick it up tomorrow. The only reason I don't have it today is because, I mean, they did cut me a deal because they wanted 3 for the Taurus, 300 beans.
Mm-hmm.
I talked them down to 250 beans.
Nice.
That was equal to my trade-in.
Nice. That's what I got.
I asked them first about the revolver, about, coming down on the price before I said, hey, I want to, sell this to get that. So I traded the gun for a gun.
Nice. I think I paid like $250 for mine too. I think back in the day. So either $250 or $230. I always forget because I got like my 2 Taurus revolvers like right around within a couple months of each other, so they kind of blur.
Mm-hmm. But the reason I don't have it today is because since they helped me out, the lady's like, would you mind just putting it on layaway for a few dollars? That way it'll help our overall numbers. Yeah. And I was like, okay, since you cut me a deal, did good by me, I'll do that for you. And so I'll go pick it up in the morning.
Yeah, that's good. I mean, that's how you build relationships and stuff. And yeah, absolutely. Couple that shoots says, took me forever to get a PS5. Wasn't willing to pay $1,000 for it from some random. Yeah, that's the same thing with me with an Xbox. Like I debating on getting the new Xbox. We'll see what happens. The thing is, there's not enough games out for it yet that I'm really like, ooh, I want the new Xbox for this game.
You're gonna get the disc version or the digital? If you're gonna get one,
I don't know. Whatever's cheaper. I don't really care anymore. Like I can't even tell you the last time. Actually, no. The last disc game I bought was The Witcher 3, and that was back in, I want to say, late 2020, early 2021, because one of my friends mentioned it to me, and I just bought off Amazon. And after I bought off Amazon, I was like,
we're on sale, right?
Well, that was the thing. Like after I bought on Amazon, I was checking the Xbox store for something else, and like it was on sale, and I was like, no, it was the same price as what I paid on Amazon. But I'm like, well, could have waited an extra week and just had to digitally save. But whatever. Cool. I got the disc. I'm cool. So, but outside that, like I can't even remember the last like disc game I bought.
Well, you have it disc from the old systems too.
Do what?
S-Spot, Force S-Spots. We work on the new S-Spots, the one with the disc.
Oh yeah, like I have discs from like the older games and the older systems someplace. I don't know where.
So I know it's more expensive to buy the disc version than the digital one.
Yes and no. So it depends. Like if you buy it brand new, probably. But I buy most of my games used. Like I buy very few games brand new anymore. Like usually they're out for a while. I'm like, ooh, here's a new game. Yeah, I know, Dino. Like that's the thing. I mean, the only game that I thought about getting for the new Xbox is I haven't been able to figure out from my research yet if the new Darktide, the Warhammer Darktide, is coming out on Xbox One or if it's going to be just the Series X. So that's the only one. But even that's like, I want it, but I don't want it that much that I'm willing to spend, $400 or $500 on Xbox right now. I'm like,
Mm-hmm.
Like I'm just like if I'm gonna spend $400 right now, it's gonna be on like tires for my car or like paying down my credit card debt. Like I'm not, it's not that much of a game that I'm like, ooh, I need this game right now, and it can only get it if I get this Xbox. Like, I don't know. That's just kind of where I'm at.
Yeah, understandable.
Yeah, so it's like until something really comes out that really blows my mind, nah.
Where the hell's Duke at?
I don't know. He said he was gonna be here at 7:30. Fucking lazy ass sack of shit. I sent him
Maybe
hold up.
Caddy's kicking his ass.
Maybe he's sleeping.
I mean, to be fair, it's only 4 minutes. But now I'm actually looking. I'm like, did I send him a link? I'm pretty sure I did send him a link. Okay, cool. So he doesn't have an excuse. Yeah, he's probably sleeping or like putting the kids. Well, because I know he usually puts kiddos to bed around 7. But if it's running late or something like that, maybe he's having him and wifey time. Goes 5 minutes long. Who knows?
Who knows?
That being said, I guess I'll go into my. What's up, Shot Red? Just talking about Black Friday stuff I know, and I apologize again. I forget who had asked last week and the week before, but I know the topic had come up because originally when I started these chats, I was talking a lot about fitness stuff, which I do want to still sprinkle back in here and there. I know we're going into the holidays, and that's a tough time for everybody. But I know someone had asked,
To join?
why does it look dark outside? Because it is dark outside.
Yeah.
Like the sun goes, I wake up, the sun's not up. I get off work, the sun goes down. Like I get off work most nights around 5, technically.
It's 6:36 here, and the sun started going down around probably 4:45, 5 o'clock.
Yeah, mine goes down. Usually, yeah, right around 4:45 is when the sun starts to go down. And then when I'm up in the morning, the sun's not up yet. So, like, my lunch break is when I get to actually go outside and see the sun, like, when it shows up. I live in Pennsylvania, so it's a crapshoot anyway.
Winter time, so days are short and nights are long.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Although when I lived in Arizona, I didn't run into this issue. So, exit 343 late today, but AJI is the best place ever. Yep, see, someone else knows. AJI is absolutely fantastic.
That what you were saying a while ago? You couldn't remember who was asking to join the live chat? You started to say something about...
No. So I was saying someone had asked last week if I could touch on the topic real quick. Fucking words. Real quick on functional strength compared to just like regular strength. So functional strength, I mean, Reader's Digest version, I can dive into it more if people want to in the future, but it kind of goes into prepping a little bit. So obviously, we were talking earlier about like, oh, what happens if you have to travel 400 miles with your, go bag on foot? Strength is going to come into that. So functional strength is not getting strong to look good and look, like shredded and stuff like that. It's just building muscle, building your strength. So, starting off small, doing smaller reps, adding more weight, obviously, as time goes on and as you feel comfortable, just getting your strength gains up. And you're going to put on size with that because you're going to grow muscle. You're not necessarily going to lean out, but you are going to grow muscle. And then, if you ever do want to go actual, like, looking good and stuff, farmer strength is the ultimate strength. I mean, you're not wrong there. Like, it's a lot of just lifting heavy stuff, a lot of just moving stuff. And
you ever tossed hay bales?
I'm sorry?
You ever tossed hay bales?
I've never. So
I grew up doing that. That
yes.
That builds some fucking tries on you, dude. Some triceps.
Yeah. Yes, I have tossed kettlebells before. I don't do that now because at the gym they frown upon that. But
I mean actual hay bales.
I have
hay bales. Hay bales. Yes.
Yeah, like square bales of hay.
So not. I think they were like half bales. But that will add strength too because those fuckers are heavy.
After a while, a couple hours or even an hour of tossing them bitches, yeah, you're noodled.
Yeah. So like I go back to like my grandfather's farm, and granted, I mean he sold the farm when I was like 14, maybe 13. Fuck. I mean, maybe even 12. My memory's shot. But I remember being little and stuff and working on the farm, and it was like we didn't really toss a lot of hay bales because he didn't have a ton of hay there. He didn't have a lot of cows and everything at that time, and horses at that time. Plus, I was also smaller, so he probably didn't want me like full on hay bales trying to move those at that age. But I remember like mucking stalls, and like even going into my teenage years, my sister rode horses, and so we were always at the stable. My parents had horses, so we were always at the stable and like mucking stalls. Like even mucking stalls, like you muck those stalls, and then you're wheelbarrowing shit all over the place. Like you're loading up wheelbarrows full of feed and wheeling them down. Like that stuff will build up back muscles and everything real quick.
Yep.
So yeah, if you can, like, when I was, and I think back too, when I first moved to Pennsylvania, the property we had a wood fireplace in there, and we moved in early September. Or no, I'm sorry, it was really late August, very late August. But we were getting ready for the winter. We knew it was coming, so we had a tree on the property that was overhanging the house. My dad's like, we gotta get rid of this tree before winter comes. Snow's gonna hit it, collapse the roof, all that stuff. We can't really afford it. So my dad and we cut the tree down, and then we spent weeks just sitting there, like every day after work, or every day after school, I'd come home, I'd help him split wood. Like that's another thing. Like sit there and split wood for a couple hours. Like
I've done it.
Done
it
that
for
too.
barbecue.
Done that a lot. Split firewood.
Yep.
Hay. Doing the hay.
Yep. It's a great. I mean, the closest thing I've had to outside of like gym physical. I mean, obviously, like you do random shit like hike in the woods or whatever, but like labor wise was over the summer we had a water leak here at the apartment complex where a pipe burst underground, so they had to dig up the pipe. And the maintenance team here is like, it's all older guys. Like they are all on death's doorstep. Nice guys, but they're old as fuck.
No one wants to do that type of work anymore.
Well, so they had put out a thing to the residents. They're like, hey, does anyone want to help essentially dig a hole, find the pipe, have the pipe people go and fix it, and then fill the hole back in. And they're like, we'll knock some money off rent. And I was like, fuck yeah, I'll do that. Sure.
Yeah, why not?
And like you sit out there in the humid ass, like 75, 80 degree heat all day, like for a couple hours digging a hole, like, another one.
That's like earlier when I went to go pick up that Rossi. I think the lady thought I was joking, but I was being serious because for the transfer fee, I was like, I'll do shit around here, pay off my tab. And they just started laughing.
Yeah.
I'm if you can save some money, then I'm down for it.
Rolling Trip says if I have to go 400 miles during shit hit the fan on foot, I'm looking for a bicycle. Yeah, I don't blame you on that one. Exit 343 says I grew up throwing hay bales and unlimited bags of grain. I was built strong for years. Then I moved away, found a lovely place called Filiberto's. Filiberto's is good. Now they have Filiberto's locally, so it's like, Well, I think you said you moved away. Yeah, okay. Splitting wood is therapy. It is. So, like, I mean, you're tired, but you feel so much accomplished. Like, when you can sit there and look at a pile of wood and be like, I did this. Or, like, you clear land. Like, again, I mean, I go back to my youth working on the farm. Like, oh, all the horses are fed and taken care of and all the stalls are, like, yes, you're physically exhausted, but you feel accomplished with what you feel pride in what you've created. I mean, again, looking at properties and stuff my parents owned, we'd go out there, my dad and I, it's like, hey, we're going to go out this weekend. We're going to clear this land. It's like, okay, clearing land, digging up rocks, like moving shit, cutting down trees. And like, you feel good afterwards. You're like, I'm sore, I'm tired, I want to go sleep, but like, I feel good. You feel that pride.
Mm-hmm. I even do that with just simply mowing the fucking yard because I have close to 2 acres and I do it by, push mower. And it may take me a long ass time to do it. But after it's done, just panning around looking at it, I'm like, yeah, that fucking looks good.
Yep. Yeah, I did. When we first moved to Pennsylvania, the property we were on was a 1 acre lot, and we just had a push mower, and I would go out there and just cut the grass. It's like, yeah, this is a good feeling. Or like when you build something, like, you feel good, even though like you're sore, you're tired because you had to build something, but like, it's a good time. Pavaya says shoveling rocks sucks. Yeah, it does. Especially when you have to crawl into a hole that's literally you're sitting in the hole and the ground is still above you and you're just sitting there like, okay. Like you're still digging shit out, and then you have
Be
to
like-
dig steps into the ground so you can actually get in and out.
Yeah. I tell you, there was this one time that I had to help my grandpa. We have a lake cabin over in oh fuck, what's it called? It's actually called Milam, Texas, but it's over by Toledo Bend, which is east Texas, over by Louisiana.
Okay.
And we had to replace his septic tank, so we had to dig that bitch up. But we had to dig a new trench for the, I guess, excess water, whatever. But we had to do it.
What they call? I had a drain tile, isn't it? I think that's what they call.
Maybe, but I had to dig. We had to do it 90 feet long, and it was red clay. So shovels weren't cutting it. He gave us these old school fucking like military pickaxes, and we had to fucking just chisel that bitch out. We'd get it down because we had to get it down 2 feet, but work our way up slightly as we went.
Yeah.
And I'm sitting there on my knees. I feel like an old, miner, just like a little fucking dwarf.
Yep. That was
a bitch, dude.
Yeah, clay is not fun. When we moved, my ex and I, when we got our house up in Dunmore, Pennsylvania, the property we were on, like the dirt that was there was all like, it was clay. Like you went down, it was clay, and then it was rock.
Mm-hmm.
And so when we bought the house, there was no fence in the backyard. There's a fence on the neighbor's yard, but on our side, there's no fence. So we had 2 dogs. We had my dog and her dog. And so when we'd let them out, we just had them hooked on like a lead line. And that was fine. But at the same time, we're like, we have property. We want the dogs to run around. And our dogs are both idiots. So they'd get tangled up half the time. You'd have to go out and like untangle them. It's just like, this is a pain in the ass. So for her birthday, I stupidly bought fencing and got all the stuff from, Home Depot or Lowe's or wherever. They drop it off in our driveway. And I'm like, awesome. Now the driveway our house was on a hill. So the driveway's down here. You have to like hike everything up and around. And like, there's it's chain link fence. So like, it's not like a piece of chain link fence. Like it's just a roll of fucking round of chain link fence. So I had to carry that all the way around and then put the posts in and just digging through that stuff. Like I was sitting there with a post hole digger and it's like clay and it's just like, oh, this is nasty. And then you're just hitting rock and it's just like, fuck. And so then I'm sitting there with a breaker bar, like breaking up rock, like breaker bar in there, whacking it with a sledge, like breaking up rock, digging that out. Like, oh, it took forever. But afterwards I was like, I have done it. I have created something. It took a long time. Rolling Trips has been building a chicken house over the last few months, nearing the end and quite proud of it. Nice. I'll have to check it out in Matt's Discord.
Yeah, I saw that. It looks good. You're doing a good job so far.
I saw it too.
Sorry, excuse me.
Daniel says we got one of those robot lawnmowers. I feel very accomplished sitting at our bar watching it. I've seen those. They're like the Roombas.
Yeah, just like a giant fucking Roomba.
Yeah.
They're kind of like, I don't know, almost an egg shape, sort of.
Yeah.
Egg. I don't know how to. They're just funky looking. I don't trust them.
See, I mean, I feel they'd probably do fine. Just I feel like you'd have to set out all the time. And like here in Pennsylvania, I mean, this year, luckily, it wasn't too bad when it came to grass and everything and rain.
Mm-hmm.
But I know there's some years, like my last year here before I moved to Arizona, I swear to God, I was out there cutting the grass every other day because like you'd cut the grass, it would rain for like 3 days in a row, and then you'd go out and it was the fucking jungle again. And it's like, you can't cut it while it's raining, but the grass is growing like crazy, and you're like, fuck. So like putting that little robot out there, that robot's just going to kill itself because it's going to get all tangled up.
How does it know? I mean, do you have to set up like sensors or something?
I'm assuming you probably have to set up like
yard?
I'm assuming you probably have to set up like a sensor or something like a like how they have like the invisible fence for like dogs.
Mm-hmm.
I'm assuming it's something like that. Would be my guess.
Maybe, I don't know.
Red clay was meant only for the strongest of the strongest med. That kind of ground was meant to test it.
I'm telling you, what should have taken maybe a day and a half, depending on how quick you want to do it or how much you want to exert yourself. It took us a fucking week to dig that because it started off with like 4 of us, and it was down to me and another guy,
I bet.
which was a buddy of my grandpa's. So he was old, almost twice as old as me, and he was out there with me while my little brother and his buddy bitched out. Oh, it's
That's how it
hard.
works.
Oh, the slack off, huh?
Yeah, they wanted slack off. Circle jerkers.
Oh, they wouldn't get away with my grandpa.
A buddy of mine, we didn't have to thankfully dig any trenches or anything like that, but a buddy of mine, his dad owned a hunting cabin up in, again, if you know where Pennsylvania is, like way past Tunkhannock, probably like about 40 miles out past Tunkhannock. So it's in the middle of nowhere, Pennsylvania. I forget what town it was in. But this was an old school like hunting cabin. Like technically there was a bathroom in the cabin, but the water pressure was so low, like you couldn't really ever use it. Now granted he could have fixed that issue, but it's just like, fuck it, I got an outhouse. What do I need to take a shower up here for? But we would go up there in the summertime. And it was a lot easier because you didn't have to really prep the cabin, like get it warmed up or whatever. But we'd always do like bonfires. We'd have to clear the land every summer when we'd go out there. And so it was me, my buddy Joe, whose cabin it was, well, his dad's cabin, and then a couple of our other friends. We'd always go up there. It was great because after you clear it, you have a bonfire, you drink, you hang out, you just do guy stuff. But those other guys, like they were, they'd sit there, oh, I played football, I did this, da da da. It's like, yeah, well, it's a big difference compared to manual labor. Yep. And you get the manual labor, and they're like, oh, this is tough. And it's like, yeah, that's kind of the fucking point. And it was even worse in the, like, at least for me in the wintertime, because I hate the cold. So it's like you have to shovel your way. Like, you didn't even stop because the road itself might have been shoveled if you were lucky. But it's like once you got there, like, you shoveled your way in there. You had to shovel your way into the cabin, clear off the deck, and then shovel a path to the outhouse. You had to constantly keep that clear during the, especially if it's snowfall. And then you had to prep the whole cabin, get it all warmed up. Like, yeah. Exit 343 says, this year I'm planning to build a chicken coop. Got lots and lots of coyotes out here. Going to need a lot of 22. Yeah, if you're where I think you are, you're definitely going to need some 22 for them yotes. At least 22 is cheap.
Did I tell you how much I paid for that, Rossi?
Didn't you say like 110 or something?
Yeah, it's after tax, but before tax and everything and shipping, it was like 90 something.
Oh, that ain't bad at all.
No, not.
Especially for a semi-auto 22 MagFed nowadays, yeah.
Yeah, that's why I couldn't pass it up because it was a Black Friday deal.
But definitely a good deal.
Mm-hmm.
Even I could afford that.
Oh, so Daniel says that thing works off the Google Maps app thing. Okay.
Oh,
you set a border with your satellite. That's interesting. Okay. That makes sense, though.
Okay. Google's not always right, though, so.
Yeah,
you start jumping a culvert if you got a ditch next to you.
Well, because you're supposed to, like, draw it. Like, you have to pull up the map of your property and then try to draw it, I guess, with your finger or with a stencil or whatever.
Oh, gotcha.
And I'm sure some of you probably watch it for the first time, correct anything of it.
Yeah. I'm sure there's a way to go in there and adjust its route and stuff. So Daniel says I nicknamed the robot mower Jose, of course.
So being electric, how long is the charge for each? I mean, how often do you have to stop it before it's finished mowing?
I am curious on that. Because my parents, my freaking parents, God love my mother, but she is oblivious to anything that has to do with like man shit. So their old house, they had a piece of property in the back. It was not a large piece of property, but it ran deep, but it was narrow. And my father, when he was there, he's like, this was right before I left. He's like, oh, I need a new mower because his mower blew up. And he's like, it was one of those things. He had repaired it so many times that was just finally dead. He had the thing for, I don't know, like 15 years or some shit. So my mom was like, oh, I'm going to buy him an electric mower. I'm like, don't. No. She's like, no, it'll be fine. Like, he can have an electric mower. He can just plug it in. I'm like, first off, he's not going to run an extension cord across the property. Like, this is stupid. I'm like, secondly, with how this grass grows anyways and stuff, you know, you get a couple good rain days, like, it's going to be a jungle anyway. It's just going to piss him off. Like, I don't know how strong this thing is. And so, thankfully, at the time, Max and I had just broke up, so I ended up taking the mower from her house because it was my mower. I bought it. It's one of the few things I got to keep. I just brought it down to my dad's. I was like, hey, not going to need this in Arizona. Here's a new mower for you. Have at it. So he used that for years. Now where they're at, it's like literally their plot of land that they have, I guess, in their backyard is like maybe the size of my apartment. You know, it's not big. So it's tiny, but I mean, they really don't need it because both their dogs passed this year. So they don't, like, the only time they need it is for when my dog's there and I literally take her out, walk around. She doesn't care. So, my mother asked me to mow her yard, and by the time I got there, she was watering the grass. Yeah, that sounds about right. I know. Yeah.
Daniel says that he mows it uses it to mow 2.5 acres, and he has to charge it twice to finish it.
So you're looking at like 3/4 of an acre on a charge. I mean, all in all, I mean, it's not bad for most people. Like, you figure most people probably live on what, maybe a half acre, quarter acre.
You know.
Like, yeah, probably less than that. Probably maybe a quarter acre. So like, that's not bad then for something like that.
Mm-hmm.
It has a doghouse looking thing. It just goes and plugs itself in when it needs to charge. So it's essentially a Roomba. It is basically a Roomba, only for yards. That's interesting.
What do those go for?
I don't know how much I trust it, because like, now we're arming the battle bots and giving them
Skynet. This is what I'm saying.
All I can think of is Maximum Overdrive, like a bunch of like those little robots coming out and just like attacking somebody.
Mm-hmm.
Although I think in that movie they had a normal lawnmower do the same thing, so whatever.
What'd you pay for it, Daniel?
I guess Duke's not joining us. I give him so much shit.
Yeah, I live on 10 acres.
Yeah, you're not gonna do that. I mean, you could.
Not like you had probably 20 of them.
No.
Yeah, you'd have to release a fleet of them. Just.
You ever seen that video of the fucking redneck that put a pole in his yard and had like 6 or so push mowers?
Yes,
and they're on the pole and just.
Yep. That's a lot. That's a lot of coordination to do that.
I could imagine, tethering all those together and just have them, just like an army of fucking robots mowing your yard. That'd be hilarious.
That'd be terrifying. But
well,
yes.
Time for mowing, I just get out the 7-foot bush hog and go have at it.
Yeah, that's what you got to do with that size of the plot.
Yeah, like when my parents had their property up in Vermont, we had over 100 acres, but 50 of it was on flat ground. So we would just hook up the I forget even what it was called, just to the back of the tractor and just go out there and mow. And even that, like, that was a huge mower, and that still took, like, you were still out there for hours cutting those. But it was nice because, I mean, the cab was air conditioned. Like, it was a Gucci tractor. So cab's air conditioning, you have for radio, so you're just sitting there like chilling, whatever.
Cyclo ball. Like a big giant ball.
It's based on battery size, but I think this one was like 5K. Jesus.
No, it's not worth it at that point. Of course, with Daniel, he's got fuck you money. So I mean,
yeah.
When you got fuck you money, you can do it.
I mean, if I had the money for it and the property, just be like set and forget it, sure. But I mean, that's the same reason I don't buy a Roomba, because I'm like, fuck it, when I need to sweep, I'll sweep. But I have actually been looking at one just because my dog shits so goddamn much.
To me, that just makes someone more and more lazy, that they don't have to do anything because there's technology coming out that'll do everything for them. So pretty soon we're going to get to a society where everyone's just like, robots are doing everything for us, and we're just going to be like the the fat people floating around in chairs.
like
on-
Wally. Yeah.
yeah.
But like the when I do have to mow the back, I just let it grow. I only cut it once a year.
Yeah, like I don't know, like the Roomba aspect of mine, I would get only because I would literally run that thing every single day because that's how much my dog sheds.
Mhm.
Even during the wintertime, like she sheds, not as bad, but she still does it. But like
I agree.
the apartment I have right now, it doesn't make sense for me to get one because it's small enough. I'm like, there's really no point. Plus, I really don't know where I'd plug it in. I know I have plugs for it. I just don't know where I'd really plug it in. So
I've got
that's
2
why I'm
pit
just
bulls
like,
and a Rottweiler, and they shed like a motherfucker.
And
yeah.
really,
Mine just like literally I can I'll rub her back in the like summertime or whatever, and I can just go. It's just like, oh, a whole nother dog fell off you, and she doesn't. Looking at her, she doesn't look like a dog that would shed because she has very short hair,
Mhm.
and like I'll scratch her back or whatever because she gets hot spots. I'll scratch her back or whatever, and I'll wipe off all this hair, and I'm like, how are you not bald? Like you just shed a whole dog, and yet you still have all your hair. Like this doesn't compute. Like.
Mhm.
Yeah, it is worth it when you're paying landscapers that much a month.
Yeah.
Landscapers are expensive, but it was all day thing with 2 mowers.
Mhm.
It was more lazy but cheaper if you had the type of person that would pay someone to. That's true. Like I remember when we first got our property, my ex and I, like, her mom wanted to pay landscapers. I'm like, fuck no. I'm like, I'm not paying fucking landscapers. She's like, well, they do a really good job, and I'm like, I don't care. Like, I'm not paying someone. Like, we lived on maybe a 1/4 acre lot. I'm like, I'm not paying someone to come cut my grass. Like, just because you have FU money and are paying a landscaper all the time because she had a bigger plot of land and she's an older lady. I'm like, you're not going to go out and cut your grass. Me, I will go out and cut my grass. I have nothing better to do on a Saturday. If anything gets me out of the house with your daughter for an hour or two, I can relax a little bit and make myself feel like I did something around here. So. Roland Tripp says half acre gets done with the low mower, rest gets done with the tractor. So my rule of thumb growing up was anything over an acre, I'm using the riding mower. Now, and if I had a riding mower for when we moved to Pennsylvania, because we were on that 1 acre, I probably would have used it. To be fair, like there are some days where I'm like, wish I had a riding mower right now. But like when we lived in Oregon, we were on 3 acres, and that was riding mower, like just road riding mower. The other property we had in Rhode Island was 2 acres, so that was riding mower. But then when we moved to Pennsylvania, we were on that 1 acre, and we only had the push mower. And I was like, this really isn't that bad. Like, takes a couple hours, but it really wasn't too bad. Did you ever see Harry and the Hendersons when he paid? Yes,
I love that movie. I love Harry and the Hendersons.
that is a good movie. It's a good show too.
Like Conehead was another one. They just don't
Oh,
make movies like they did back in the day.
yep. Oh my god, I
And
forgot about Coneheads.
Was it Alyssa Milano that played in Coneheads?
Hold up. Maybe. Cast of Coneheads. Let's see.
Because I know it was what the fuck is he? Played on Third Rock from the Sun. I can't remember his name.
Dan Aykroyd?
No, not Dan Aykroyd. Third Rock from the Sun, dude.
Oh, David Spade. Or was it David Spade?
No, it's John Lithgow. John Lithgow. He played. Didn't he play the dad in Coneheads? Or no, that was Dan Aykroyd that played in Coneheads.
Yeah, Dan Aykroyd played the dad.
Okay. Sorry, it's been so damn long since I've seen these movies.
Michelle Burke, I think, was the
daughter.
Yeah, that was the daughter.
Okay. I don't know why I was thinking it was Alyssa Milano.
Yeah, Michelle Burke was the daughter. It's been so long since I've seen that movie. Like it's probably been like maybe the early 2000s. That was the last time I saw that movie. I get that. See, for me, like cutting grass was therapeutic but it also was a pain
Ooh.
in the ass sometimes.
No, I don't care if I have to mow 10 acres. I love mowing grass. It's very relaxing. It's peaceful. I'm just, one with the grass at that point.
Yeah.
It gets me out of my own head, if that makes sense. Because I'm
Yeah, it's
focusing on mowing and just moving shit around if I have to, limbs, whatever, picking up shit off the ground. And
just being outside, yeah.
yeah, it just gets me out of my own head sometimes.
I get that. That's always been kind of like physical labor for me. Like whenever I was just having a shit day, or like, again, like as much as you don't want to because it's exhausting, it's like at least you can go out there. I mean, it's the same reason I go to the gym all the time because like constantly under stress with my job and everything. But just going there and throwing heavy stuff around and getting some of that anger and rage and like getting out of your head for a little bit, or using whatever's in your head and focusing it towards a goal, makes you feel better instead of just sitting around letting it brew.
Yeah. And Simple Dan, thank you. Yes, I had the two movies backwards. I meant to say John Lithgow played in Harry and the Hendersons. That's where I was going with the whole Third Rock from the Sun.
Gotcha. Okay.
John Lithgow. So.
Yeah. Yeah, because there's been times, where I'm just sitting around, I'm just like, fuck. Like, I'm just in my head. I'm like, all right, I'm going to go to the gym because I can't sit here and wallow. Like, I got to get out of this. So, or back in the day, it'd be like, sitting in the house when I'm up on the mountain, be like, I want to sit here and think about this. I'm going to go, I don't know, cut some trees or something, or like cut some wood, or, go mow the grass, or go, fix that stone wall I've been meaning to fix, like whatever it is. Like go do something just to get my mind, focused on something else, or divert that energy to something else. So
there's been plenty of times where I'd get real pissed off and I'd end up going outside and chopping some wood and mowing the grass.
Yeah.
Even if I was tired and I was hurting or whatever, I would still fucking do it because by the time I was done, I was calm. I worked out all the anger.
Yep. And you accomplished something. It's like two birds, one stone.
Mm-hmm.
So.
Well, the therapy that you guys never try it. Try do blacksmith work. It's fun.
Well,
I'd love to.
Actually, I built two forges, coal forges, when I was in college. One was out of a 18-wheeler brake drum, and it set on a stand that it was a tri-stand, and it had the flute at the bottom that would suck in air and air. Forget what we used for that. But the other one was made out of a car brake drum and was on, a tri-stand, had the pipe coming down the middle, and had a joint right here that we stuck a hairdryer in it to circulate air to it.
Interesting.
I have a coal forge and I have a hand crank.
Oh, do you?
I'd love to get into blacksmithing and just, beating metal and stuff, but I don't have a place for it. So.
Well, one of the things that showed stress relief, forging, making something out of nothing.
Simple Dan says, I find sleeping to be rather constructive. I get that, but like when you're, at least with me, like when my mind's racing, I can't sleep. Like,
Same.
Like if my mind's racing on something, like no matter how tired I am, like even Saturday night. So Saturday night, like long story short, went to bed, got woken up at went to bed at 1:30, got woken up at 2:30. So I only slept an hour, and my mind literally raced the rest of the day. I'm like, well, this is cool. Like all day Sunday, and then finally Sunday afternoon, I got to the point where my body, I ate something finally, and I was laying on the couch, and next thing I knew, I was out. And then I woke up 2 hours later, was like, well, I got 3 hours of sleep, combined.
I hate that. I've done that so much in my life that where I'm up for days on end because I'm working or or don't sleep for a day or so because, like you said, my mind races a lot, especially this year alone, especially around the beginning, the middle. I didn't sleep hardly at all through that time period.
Yeah. So, when you're stressed out or your mind's just focused on stuff, again, with me, my mind will just race and I'll be sitting there there's been days I've been here where it's like, you know, you wake up at 2 a.m. You're just like, oh, whatever, and like I always kick myself. I'll like check my phone. I'll see something. I'm like, fuck. I'm like, all right. I'm like, well, I'll deal with that in a couple hours when I wake up, and then I'm just laying there. And after an hour, I'm like, well, fuck it. I guess I'm not like going back to sleep. Might as well just go to the gym now. Like,
Fucking Daniel.
I feel the same way about drinking. Now see, so
Just become an alcoholic is what Daniel's suggesting.
no, I mean I will occasionally drink. I didn't really drink when I was out in Arizona. Now that I'm back here, I do more, but not excessively. Like I don't do it during the week typically. I very rarely will drink during the week. On the weekends when I'm back home with friends and stuff like that.
Sure, don't lie. You drink to stay warm because it's fucking cold as balls up there.
Yeah, well, it doesn't help though, because like at the time when you're drinking, you're like, oh yay, I'm warm. But then as soon as it wears off, you're like, oh fuck, I'm cold as shit. And yeah, and I get hangovers too. Like, you know, hangovers aren't fun because then you're down for the entire day and you're pissed at yourself because you're like, I had shit to do today, but I physically couldn't get up. I do the same simple day about once a week. I, clean my place, scrub stuff. When I'm here, that's the biggest thing. Like, as of recently, when I first moved here, my first couple months here, I was here almost every weekend. I think I only went home like twice in the first 2 months I was here, I went home twice. I'm sorry, in the first 3 months I was here, I went home twice. And then literally after May happened, it was just like every weekend, just about, I was back home. And so that was like, well, fuck. Like, be like Friday night. I'm like, well, I gotta get as much done as I can. I couldn't function without it. I got a full 36 bottle bar in my office at work.
Good God,
that's awesome.
That's awesome, but Jesus Christ.
I drink during the week, getting paid to be hungover is like pooping on the clock. So my old office in Arizona, we had, again, didn't drink a lot, but we did have a mini fridge at the office, and they always stacked it with beer. So it used to be like, because a lot of us worked remote on Fridays. Our boss usually didn't have us come into the office. We were a very small office anyways. I think there's only 6 or 7 of us. So usually Thursdays, what would happen is like right around like 2, 3 o'clock, you'd be like, open the fridge, and like we'd all get a beer and like wrap up our day, and then we might go out to dinner, maybe do a happy hour depending, if we had clients in or something that was just different. But and then Friday we'd all work from home remotely. I have 1 day off per week. I use it to sleep and do chores. I wish I could use it to sleep. Every time I'm like, oh, I got all this time. Like, I got a holiday ahead of me. I can use it to catch up on sleep. Or I got, oh, man, I haven't slept well. I'm going to sleep in on Saturday. I'm going to sleep in on Sunday. It's like, boom. Like, my brain just goes, fuck you are. Until finally it picks one of those weekends to crash out. Like, that was me beginning of the month. I took like 4 days off. Well, 2 days off technically. And the one day I just crashed out hard. Like I just, for the life of me, was like, holy shit, I slept until 10. Like that never happens. Now granted, I got home at 3:30 in the morning, but still, like, I'm used to getting home at 3:30, 4 in the morning, and then waking up at like 8. So for me, I was like, oh, this is nice. But well, that being said, folks, I know we've run now for about an hour and a quarter or so. Probably gonna call it. I will postpone. What is next week? Next week, I'm not gonna be doing the chat actually. So next week, hate to say it, will not be a chat next week. Most likely, because I'm gonna be back home. My mom's gonna be out of town, so I gotta take care of my dad that entire week. So it's kind of tough. Taking care of him. Taking care of him and stuff is going to be its own hassle. We'll see how everything goes. Like, I may do it, but chances are likely not. But the following week, then we will do the chat, and we will bring up the scenario thing again because I still have it written down. I'll be
If
back
Duke
here.
ever shut the fuck up.
Fuck him. Even if he doesn't show up, we'll do the scenario thing.
Sweet.
He has 2 weeks to make it up. So, and then that'll roll us right into the following week, which I'm probably not going to do one either because that holiday week I have family in for the holidays.
Right.
And I have a lot of stuff going on that week. So, but again, we will see. So, anyways, as always, if you have other suggestions, ideas, things you want to discuss, drop them down below. Shoot me a message on Discord. You know the thing. I appreciate everyone showing up. Thank you so much. I really do love and appreciate the support. And yeah, I will see you all in
Simple.
1 to 2 weeks.
Don't go.
I have to. I got to actually go do work stuff. So.
I know. That's good, man.
But later, y'all.
All right.
Thank
Later,
you.
y'all. Have a good one.